The kitchen is heating up already. So, Sports City, allow me to introduce a brother of mine. You know, I feel we're family here, man, of course, man. That Honolulu blue and gray, for sure. Detroit Lions own linebacker Ashlee Palmer has just stepped into the kitchen. Ashlee, how are you feeling this evening?
Oh, man, I'm feeling great, man. You know, just had a nice little work getting ready for the Frisco.
But believe me, that is a big name around this kitchen, man, especially with this matchup, man. Thanks for coming by the show, man. And, you know, we got, you know, 3 chefs outside of myself. We got Caleb Parkinson. We got Brian Hughes, who's actually a Cisco fan for sure. And we got James Greenwood, a.k.a. Broth, man. So we got a few questions that we're going to throw at you and hopefully be able to respond to the best of your ability. And let's get things shaking in the kitchen, man. So first and foremost, man, how do you feel on the production of the Lions thus far up until this Week 6 matchup?
I mean, we've been doing the best we possibly can. You know, early on, you know, we may have came out slow, but we've been, you know, handling things, getting things together in the second half. But we really usually just take it one day at a time and one play at a time, really. You know, we really can't control anything else besides what we do on the field.
Mr. Palmer, first off, I just want to say we're very grateful to have you join us with us today. I had a quick question for you. Coming from Compton, California, how do you think that has molded you as the player and as the man that you are today?
Well, I mean, my city is not really known for the best of things. So, you know, it really motivates me to know that, you know, a kid such as myself can go up in that kind of environment and still have an opportunity to actually live his dream and become a professional football player. So, I mean, it's been a great experience. I'm on my 3rd year now, so, I mean, things are just looking up for me right now.
Brian?
Hey, Ashlee, what's going on, man? This is Brian Hughes out here in California. I actually live about an hour from where you grew up. Let me ask you a question. As a young linebacker, you know, I don't want to say finding your way, but, you know, learning the NFL game, what was the hardest transition for you, you know, being picked up by the Bills, you know, to transition now? What was the hardest transition from you from college to the pros?
Actually learning the linebacker position. I mean, growing up, you know, I was all different type of positions. You know, I played quarterback in high school. I was a corner, but I had never played linebacker until I got to college. You know, and I was still kind of like new at it, playing it in college. I was just using my athleticism in college. But transitioning to the pros, I mean, you just really have to become a linebacker, you know, and that's what they expect of you, you know. So learning the position, learning the techniques, you know, and learning all the terminology going from, you know, Buffalo to coming to Detroit, you know, they're 2 different philosophies and 2 different, you know, all types of different terms. But, I mean, coming here from Buffalo, the transition was pretty easy because, you know, they're all about playing ball, you know, just play football and we'll correct the mistakes.
All right, Ashlee, my first question to you has to be because there's been a lot of noise about this game going on here in the kitchen all week long. We've been debating about it. We've been arguing about it. We've been throwing pots and pans all over the place. But one of the biggest things that one of the San Francisco supporters actually threw out there was the fact that Ted Ginn has been doing rather well on returning kicks, and to this point, the Lions statistically are on the bottom 3rd. So what is your plan for corralling and controlling Ted Ginn in the kickoff game?
Well, did he see the Monday night game? That was Devin Hester out there, the second best returner besides Stephen Logan. But, you know, as far as returning, if he saw the Monday night game and he saw what we did to Hester, then he'll know where we're at as far as Ted Ginn.
Okay, so my thoughts is since you're a linebacker, you're going to be faced in front of this 49er offense. So we already discussed my allegiance with the Canes, but there's a different Cane that you have to be concerned with this weekend, being Frank Gore. And a lot of people think that, or the numbers show too, that we're not that good holding down running backs. What is the plan to slow down Frank Gore this weekend?
I mean, you got to tackle him. Everybody has to tackle him. You know, he can break. He's elusive. You know, he breaks a lot of tackles. he gets yards, after the first hit. So everybody has to gang tackle him. I mean, we have to slow him down. He's a good running back. I'm not going to take that from him, but, if we do our job and, tackle and, do all the right things, then we should slow him down or even stop him from doing what he likes to do.
Ashlee, this is Caleb again. In 2010, you had 5 forced fumbles. What is it about you that's creating the turnovers? Is it more speed and power or technique? What could an up-and-coming linebacker learn most from you about creating turnovers?
Well, I mean, we teach go after the ball every play. I mean, even if, if it's a big hit tackle, you go after the ball. If you're tackling somebody, the first man wrap up, the next man strip the ball. We teach that. So, I mean, as far as me, it was just as far as me knowing, okay, he has the ball and we need the ball. So I'll just go out there and do what I can to get the ball from them.
Hey, Ashlee, what's going on, man? This is Brian out here in California. And by the way, I did check out that Monday night game. And Devin Hester, the second best, as you said, kick returner in the game. But let me ask you this. As a linebacker, you guys a lot of times have the assignment of covering in space the running backs out of the backfield, the tight ends. And you know what? San Francisco has a pretty good tandem there at tight end in Vernon Davis and Delaney Walker, who both have pretty good speed, and Frank Gore. So, without giving up too much of your game plan, what do you think is going to be the biggest challenge for this Detroit Lions linebacking core and secondary? You think it's the running back coming out of the backfield with the screen game because the defense is so ferocious up front, or do you think it's going to be a handful covering those 2 tight ends?
See, I believe our D line is crazy. You know what I mean? So I mean they seen the film last week, and I'm pretty sure they may want to keep one tight end in, or maybe even keep them both in, but they will send them out maybe on a couple routes. We just have to, as linebackers, we just have to, use our physical ability and be athletes. I mean, because both of them are athletes. So I believe our linebacker, we have none but athletes in our linebacking core. So, I mean, athlete for athlete, I'm choosing our linebackers, to be honest with you. And I believe we're a more physical team. We play physical. That's just how we play. That's what we're taught, and that's just what we're going to do.
And there's been a lot of press given to your defensive line, and deservedly so. It is by far, in my opinion, the best defensive line in football right now, especially if you start to consider depth into that situation as well. But I think your linebackers are being considerably underlooked as far as how good this squad is. I mean, you have 3 very good starters. One of them's a Pro Bowler. One of them has been with the team for a long time and has been known to play the position well. And then your general manager, Martin Mayhew, actually came out and said that he believes that you and Carpenter could fill in for the starting spots without any worry. So do you think that people are kind of overlooking the linebacking core for the Detroit Lions?
Well, I mean, we know all the attention is going to go to our D-line, but we praise our D-line because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to make the plays we're able to make, So, I mean, it may be overlooked, we may be underlooked. We don't really look at it like that. We just go out there, okay, our D-line is in front of us. They're going to take care of us, and we're going to take care of them.
Okay, so actually we got a question from the chat room, and it's Joey B. He's actually a Lions fan from the Michigan area. He states, how much are you learning from the starting linebackers on the team this year?
I mean, I'm learning a lot. Stephen Tulloch, he's been in the game for a while, 6 years in, and he brings a lot to the table, as far as, knowing what offenses would want to run this and where they want to run. DeAndre Levy, he's one of the smartest, people I know, so, and then you got Justin Durrett. He's a little bit of both, he knows what he's doing and he's very athletic. So, I'm learning a lot from all 3. And then you got Bobby Carpenter. There's nothing but experience within our linebacking group. So, there's lots of things I've been learning from him.
Ashlee, this is Caleb again. We talked about Frank Gore a little bit earlier. Without being too specific, of course, about the Lions' game plan, who outside of Frank Gore do you think is their biggest playmaker that deserves the most attention? Who are you most looking forward to putting on his back?
Well, besides Frank Gore, we would have to say tight ends. Both tight ends, because they can do a lot with the tight ends. Like I said, they're both aggressive when it comes to the passing game. So I mean, they do a lot with them. Both of them, one has 9 touchdowns, I believe. The other has, I think, like 8 or 9 also. So I mean, the tight ends really, we got to take care of them and take care of Frank Gore, and everything should work out in our favor.
Hey, Ashlee, this is Brian again out here in Cali. Let me ask you a question. I know that, you're playing against the Niners this week, so they're the quote-unquote dreaded enemy. You talk down about the enemy, talk up about your team. But let me ask you this. Both of these teams have kind of, suffered long droughts of winning, and they both started to come around and started to win this year. And a lot of that is attributed to the defense. Now, I know you guys play a different scheme, but what similarities do you see between your defense and the Niners' defense? It could be a physicality thing. I know it's not a scheme thing. And then also, what's the main differences between the two?
Well, I mean, I think the main difference between the two is our D-line. Up front, I mean, I don't think there's anybody that can really block our D-line one-on-one, or even if you double them. A little similarities, I believe, they all run to the ball. They get to the ball, they make the tackles, and they get turnovers. So I believe that's what propelled them to, they're 4-1, and I believe that's what's propelling us to be 5-0. We're getting turnovers, we're all running to the ball, we're making plays that need to be made. And like I said, the biggest difference is, I believe, is our D-line, because our D-line is ferocious right now.
I guess I have to ask you this. I've talked to a lot of Lions fans, probably at least a dozen, who expect this game to be a kind of a letdown game, saying that you passed the emotional test of Chicago and that you'll have a softer game against the San Francisco 49ers. How are you guys keeping your heads to proportionate size, not letting your head get too big after the best start in my lifetime?
To be honest with you, after the game was over, that next day, the game was in the trash can. That's what our coaches teach us, I mean, we know we're 5-0, and we haven't won around here in a while, and, everybody's liking it, and things are going well. But, we always know there's always a next week. So once that week is done, you have to put whatever happened in that past week in the trash, and that's what we're doing. And that's, like I said, we're focused on Frisco this week, and, that's been our main focus for the whole week. After Chicago's win, we put it to bed the next day, and that was that of Chicago. Now we're on Frisco.
All right, Ashlee, I'm going to throw this big question out there, because I know everybody around the NFL, also people around the kitchen, want to know the question. And I know us as a unit, the Lions being the unit, take it game by game, right? But how do you guys take it as an adrenaline push or motivation, looking within the division on the Packers' success, and you guys going step for step, neck for neck on every move moving forward?
Well, I mean, our goal is to win the division every year. We know the Packers, they're a really good team, but I believe we have a really good team also, and, I believe we have the toughest division in the NFL. So, I mean, adrenaline, like I said, we just go out there and play one day at a time. When it comes time for the Packers, then, that's when we'll deal with the Packers. But until then, it's just one game at a time.
Ashlee, this is Caleb again. I got a question for you that was here on our chat. This is coming from Rodri Jones from across the pond. Rodri Jones from across the pond out in the UK. He wanted to know from you, what's it like playing under D coordinator Gunther Cunningham?
Well, I mean, it's an opportunity to show. He gives opportunities, basically. I mean, it's fun, but then, it can also be hard working. If you're not willing to put the hard work in, then he's not about that. He's one of those, let's get the work in, let's get it right, and then let's have fun on Sunday. So he goes out there, he gets the players, that he feels that's going to fit the system he wants, and that's what he's doing, and that's what's showing.
Hey, Ashlee, this is Brian again, man. Let me